A government controlling cinema in its own country is nothing new. But just imagine when a government goes outside its borders and tries to control another country's cinema and is able to do it successfully. What will happen? That's the subject of today's video. Did you ever imagine that a day would come when Chinese government would successfully bring a gigantic film industry Hollywood to its feet? Well, they have done it. How did this happen? For Hollywood, the Chinese market is becoming more important than ever. Hollywood films like Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home and several others made more money in China than in the United States. Last year, Hollywood made 2.6 billion US dollars from China. This year, China is expected to become world's largest market for Hollywood. China knows its political and financial power to decide what Hollywood can show to their public. Even Hollywood has realized the Chinese power and they can't afford to displease Chinese government. The most powerful Hollywood studios have been surrendering one by one meekly to the Chinese authorities. I give you an example. In the Marvel Studios movie Doctor Strange, the filmmakers changed the nationality of a major character from a Tibetan monk to Celtic. When challenged about this change, the screenwriter told that if you put a Tibetan character in the movie, you risk angering the Chinese government, which means banning the movie in China. I give you another example. In the Hollywood movie World War Z, starring Brad Pitt, the story was changed. As per the original story, a zombie virus originated in China. The Paramount studio edited this plot. What do you think is the reason? To prevent Chinese censorship. The book's author, Max Brooke, stated that he chose China as the source of virus for a reason. As per the author, China was the origin of the first SARS outbreak. It concealed the information and misled the WHO. Does it sound familiar? The Chinese have figured out the greed for money in Hollywood. So they have started financing the films. In 2018, Chinese firms invested in 20% of the US box office revenue compared to just 3% in 2013. The Chinese tech giant Tencent has joined hands with Paramount Studio for the most awaited Tom Cruise movie, Top Gun Maverick. With a Chinese investor heavily invested in the film, even the film's trailer is influenced by them. I'll tell you how. In 1986, the original Top Gun, Tom Cruise sported a leather jacket which shows patches of Taiwanese and Japanese flags. But in the trailer for the 2020 sequel, Top Gun Maverick, we see the same character, same actor, same jacket, similar patches, but no Taiwanese flag. What do you think is the reason? The Chinese government does not recognize Taiwan. For the Chinese market, a Taiwanese flag would be highly objectionable. And then there is another problem. The problem is China and Japan have a territorial dispute over Senkaku Islands. The territory is claimed by China but administered by Japan. You can see the effect of the dispute on the movie. The Japanese flag patch shown in the 1986 original film has disappeared mysteriously in the new version. A Japanese flag is replaced with a red triangle on a white background. The emerging trend in Hollywood is to keep Chinese authorities happy, but not everyone is bowing down to them. An actor of stature and caliber of Richard Gere has openly supported Tibetan people under the Chinese regime. He has paid the price for his dissent, with Chinese investors pulling out of his movies. His directors have been threatened to drop him, but he hasn't backed away from his support to Tibet and sacrificed some part of his career. Another filmmaker, Quentin Tarantino, was pressurized by Chinese authorities to cut portions of his film they didn't like. He refused to obey them. What was the result? The Chinese official cancelled the release of his film in China. His refusal is one of the most powerful statements of artistic freedom. We have often heard that Hollywood's actors, producers, and directors pride themselves on celebrating freedom of expression. But Hollywood now regularly censors its own movies to appease the Chinese government. This censorship not only corrupts the version of the movies that are released in China, but also for the global audience. So next time when you watch a Hollywood movie, it may be created by Hollywood, but it might be China deciding the final cut. That's it for today.